morning, everybody. Francisco mentioned, my name is Rodolfo González. I would like to give a brief introduction of myself because it does pertain to this presentation in particular. I worked 18 years in Microsoft, first in charge of ERPs for all Latin America, and then eventually moved as the Dynamics lead for all business solutions for the Caribbean and Central America. And I was really successful in that role, in those roles, because of the strategy that we implemented. And that strategy was moving those partners that were horizontally based into having real focus around industries, around verticals. And one of those partners that was really successful doing this was actually Optimus. And I left Microsoft several months ago, and I was really enjoying my sabbatical when Hector Negron, the CEO of Optimus, reached out to me. And he actually convinced me to join as COO of Optimus because of three main things. First, the growth, the exponential growth that the company is having. Second, the professionals that he has with so many years of experience, so a very strong team. And third, which was exactly that, the focus around industries and around verticals that has made me successful in Microsoft, and I want to be part of that success now together with Optimus. So next I'm going to go talking about the agenda. First, we're going to have Rafael Ciura from Sales Manager from LaceUp talking about the warehouse management, route management, how we can be more efficient as a company using those solutions. Then Vishal, he's our VP for Optimus. He will be focusing around how to get information out of the system through Power BI, through dashboard, and make wise and smart decisions around that. Later on, we're Noé, also from the consulting team from Optimus. He will go into the next level of information, which is through AI, in particular Cortana AI, because now going beyond of having the information is through algorithms, suggest solutions and also improve the whole operation. And he's going to go directly into Power BI also on a little demo. And we're going to finish today with going through PayPal and how it relates with our solutions, which PayPal, as you know, it's all over the place now. Now, we're going to go into explaining more about who Optimus is, and we're going to start with a short video. Okay, Now, this is a short slide about why customers quit purchasing from you. And there are several reasons, but the main one, 68%, is because of attitude, indifference, or poor customer service. And with our business solutions, what we can do is analyze that information, looking into different areas through the information about analytics, about scorecard, and also now predictive analytics, artificial intelligence. And that way we can see which are the customers, the trends of the customers, which are the ones that we need to focus to bring them up to the level they used to have, or now even going beyond that and improving. And we can do that because we have end-to-end solutions is from different angles. First, look at where the problem is. Second, either through sales, marketing, through special promotions, through loyalty programs, or customer service, analyze where the information is and directly attack those customers. We can also, with the analysis with artificial intelligence, based on the products that they have bought, what is the propensity to buy other products that they have never purchased? And that's providing much better service to those customers and getting the loyalty from those customers that we seek. And everything can be achieved and resolved with a proper implementation of our solutions. And talking about a little more about artificial intelligence, we're at the really early stages of that. We're already getting the benefits, but it's going to be really important how this will transform the consumer packaged goods industry in the next coming years. Now, I was mentioning before about our industry focus and our verticals, and these are the main ones that we really are leading in end-to-end solutions, not just one front end and tail end, but holistic and especially geared to the mid-market. We can use it for small business, medium-sized business, and even enterprise. But especially for the mid and small business, it's very difficult to find end-to-end solutions that at a reasonable price. And this is what we provide with our set of solutions. And we cover the groceries, small groceries, a supermarket with hospitality, and for example, in hotels, the shops, the back office, all the financials, all the restaurant bits from the hotels, and shortly in the next couple of months, even the front end for the hotels have kind of the check-in from the hotels, and that's what we call the end-to-end solution. Same thing about food and beverage for restaurants, for fast food chains, and finally the consumer packaged goods that I'm not going to go deeper beyond talking about how to make the supply chain more efficient, and at the same time, as I mentioned before, customer service, we can sales, marketing, all that geared around this particular industry that makes our companies, consumer packaged goods companies, a lot more efficient. And finally, as my presentation of Optimus, we have 11 field offices, and we have a team of employees that I mentioned before. That was the reason why I joined Optimus. They have over 10 years on average of experience in our solutions. We have, and we don't stop there. We're constantly helping them get additional training, given the time for that training, for certifications. And at the same time, we have all these partner offices to attend in different parts of throughout the Americas. But beyond that, if let's say we have kind of an overload of implementations, we can tap into those resources from our partner offices and get the right resources to have always the proper attention that our customers need. And that's my short presentation. So we go into the focus of today's meeting, which is the food and beverage. And now I'm going to give the floor to Rafael Ciura. He's the sales manager from Lace-Up. Rafael.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. Thank you for your time. So I'll get started. First of all, I'm gonna share my screen so everybody can see. Okay, can you help me with that and help me share my screen? It's not letting me share.
Yeah, try again.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of history with LaceUp. LaceUp is a software company based here in Miami, Florida, with, I'd say, 20 years of experience. And I'm going to speak about three specific software modules that we offer to our customers. First one being the warehouse management system. Okay. So this is a list of our customers that are currently with us. They're based, and the majority are based in the US, but we have some international customers as well. Okay. So here in this slide, you're going to see the fine uh, elements of our warehouse management system. So receiving is basically receiving the merchandise into the warehouse, in this case, via scanning. The check-in, after the receiving has been done, is placing that merchandise that you just received into a specific location. It could be a bin or a space. Then we go into picking. Picking is done with a scanner to make sure you're picking the right product 100% of the time. So everything is done with a handheld. It's important to mention that Android is the platform that we use in order to use this on a handheld. Then we move into transfers, which is basically just moving product from one location to another from bin to bin. And lastly is cycle counts, which is it's just inventory adjustments. Okay, with that being said, I'll go a little bit more into detail with those steps. So the first one, the whole idea of the warehouse management system is to eliminate the manual processes that are sometimes just the room for errors. So everything with our live system, everything is in real time. You're going to know exactly what you have in your inventory, where each item is located to the bin. Okay. And our system is integrated with the RP or with your accounting system. That way you're funneling information back and forth to have that information present. So the benefit is that you're going to use the scanner every time you're going to receive a product. Okay. And when you're going to scan those orders out of the warehouse. So this improves also your picking efficiency. Okay. That way you make sure that you're scanning the right product, right? How many times do we see that orders are being sent out with the incorrect product? So that's the nature of the scanner, to make sure you're picking 100% time the right product. Then to transfer efficiency, whenever you run out of product from a picking bin, you move it from an overstock to the picking. And then the cycle count. So if it has a cycle count efficiency, just imagine a big warehouse, let's say Costco. Can you imagine doing an inventory count there and a cycle count? If you don't have a system in place, it'll take you a couple of days with like 10 people. With our system, it's extremely efficient. You're only going to count from the picking bin. Any product that is, let's say, on the second level or what we call overstock, you will not touch, because that's already been at the time of entrance, it's already been counted. So there's no need for that. Okay. The other aspect of our system is that it's FIFO, first in, first out. That way you want to make sure you're rotating the oldest product first. Okay. That especially if you manage expiration dates. Okay. You don't want to incur that cost of product going bad inside your warehouse. Okay. Then full lot traceability. With our system, every time you receive a product into the warehouse, you are able to allocate a lot number. That way, if there's a recall in the future, let's say a product is defective in the future, you know exactly who you sold it to. So the whole purpose of the system is to track every single step of the process, and have the system make the nice part is it gives accountability. Okay. So let me go now to the next step. Receiving processes merchandising. I'm just going to go kind of quickly on this so I can show you how the system works. So you receive with a scanner, okay, and you can receive those purchase orders. They show up on your handheld, and your handheld is incorporated with a scanner. So you are able to scan all that. You enter the tracking number by the lot tracking, okay, and expiration date and so forth. Once that you've received that merchandise, you're gonna print a label, and that label is gonna have a QR code. It's gonna have the lot number, expiration date, and let's say a brief description of the product. And when you print that label, you're gonna apply it to the product itself. Let's say it's a pallet. So when you have that label on that pallet, then you're gonna scan that label, and the system is gonna tell you where you can place that that merchandise. Okay, well, when it comes to picking, okay, so all the orders will show up on the handheld at the people that are using the application in the warehouse. So they are going to see, and they're going to go where each item is located. They're going to have to scan to make sure that that is the product that is part of the order. Okay, if they scan a different product, obviously it's not gonna allow them to fulfill that order. And the most important as well is that the system will provide them the most efficient picking route. So the whole idea is for have your pickers walk the less distance possible, okay, so they can be more productive. This allows the picker to scan each product to match the load sheet and avoid any mispicks, correct. And lastly, is the transfers. Transfer is just the moving of merchandise from one location to the other. And this is done obviously with the scanner, so, because every step is taken into consideration with our system. And lastly are the cycle counts. You're only going to, whenever you do a cycle count, you're only going to pick your count from the picking bins. That's all. So it's rather quickly instead of counting everything within a warehouse. So now that that's done, I would like to show you how the application works in real life. So what you see on your screen right now, this is the LaceUp application that runs on your computer. So this is what management's going to see. Management is able to see each of the movements that are done. And on the other hand, right here, let me just unlock this. This is the application of LaceUp that the people in the warehouse are using. So let's go through the workflow that we just saw on the presentation. Let's do it in real life with the software. So let's do when we receive merchandise, we have two options. We go to item receipt, and we have the option of doing just a single item receipt, let's say just one item, or we have the option to receive POs. In this case, we'll be receiving as a PO. So we'll use Central Foods Packers, this one right here. And as soon as we enter that supplier, we'll see all those POs that are outstanding and that we are ready to receive. So let's choose one of them. Okay, in this case, there's only one product in the PO, and there are 77 units of this Scotch bonnet pepper. Okay, so now we're gonna receive that item. So there were 77 order, and now we're gonna count those, and we're gonna say that we are receiving 77. We could also, adjust that quantity. Let's say if a different amount was sent, let's say if 50 were the number of items sent, then we can change that, and the system takes that into consideration. So the lot number here, even though it's not necessary, we always have it in place. Not everybody works with lot numbers, so we'll just put a lot number and the expiration date. So we'll say that this product will be good until October 14th. Perfect. And you also have, let me see, the ability to put a comment in. So let's say I'm going to put today's date, okay, just to know that on the comment we received these items on today. So we say that. Okay, perfect. So now it's when we print a label. Okay, in this case, being a demo, there's no need. Okay, we send that. Yes. Perfect. And now we already have that merchandise in the system. So that's part one of receiving merchandise into the warehouse. Now we go to the second part, which is checking it in. Okay. So now when we go into check in, which is the second one to the right, receiving area, and we're going to see there everything that is, that is sitting there ready to be checked in. So in this case, the one we did was the Scotch bonnet with 77 items, which is sitting right there. So we'll just go on there. And as soon as we click on it, it's going to give us all our options to place that merchandise. We have, if you look at, there's different colors, color coded, right? And that's to differentiate the levels. So the way that we have it set up, the yellow locations are the picking bins, and the other colors represent a different level of the rack. Okay, so let's say I want to check this in to the second level, and which is the one in the blue. So I just tap on it. Okay, I hit done. Yes, do I want to continue? And the check-in process has been done successfully. So now the person with the forklift is going to come over, get that pallet, and put it at that location that the system gave us option to. So that's part two of checking in a product. Okay, so now we have the system, the product in the system is already checked in. So now we're going to concentrate on picking orders. So all the orders, and let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go back here, back and forth, so you see how the software works in the office. So when we go to delivery here, okay, let me see what happened here. My orders were here. Something happened. I had all my orders right here. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, they're not showing up. Okay, that's fine. So the orders would be here on your top right, says orders being picked. And for some reason right now it's just blanket. It's 20 minutes ago, all the orders were there, but that's fine. Let me go back here. Okay. And when I go to that, now we're going to start picking the orders. When I hit pick orders and I hit all, because I can do a filter. So the system gives you efficient ways to work, right? If you don't want to look all the orders, you can do a filter. So in this case, we'll see all the orders that are ready to be picked. In this case, let's say I want to pick the 360. Actually, let me see. 360 meat shop. Let's see here. Perfect. So that order that we're about to pick, the product is the Excel cinnamon. And if you see, there's available 12 units within the warehouse. Now, this order is only requiring 4 units. So we're going to do a complete pick. So because sometimes you don't have all the quantity available within the warehouse. So you have to do a partial pick. Okay. When a partial pick is done, then you have a back order report that gets created. So you will always know what orders are not being fulfilled, right? So in this case, if you look at your screen, there were 4 orders. So now we're going to pick. So now with the scanner, we're going to go to that location. We're going to scan, and it's going to bring the product up. Okay. And it's going to ask me, how many do you want to pick? So I'll add 4, which is the quantity that the order was placed. Okay. And now I'm ready to finalize that picking. I'm pretty much done picking that order. So I just hit finalize. Okay, quality of pallets. I had to put a number here. It's going to go on 1 pallet. Here, I have the ability to print a packing slip. Okay, so we'll print 1 copy. Let's see here. Sure, we'll print 1 copy. Right now, I don't have a printer attached, but if I would have that that Bluetooth printer, that packing slip would come out, and I would place it with the units itself. It's just going to take a little bit. There it is. At least 1 order filled. That's right. This is just a demo. Now we're going to print the label. Okay, same thing. And now when we've done this part, we're just going to send this order. Okay, perfect. So we send it. I did that. Let's see something here. Correct, that's fine. Print the labels. Correct. One copy, that's fine. Now I should. Oh, let's try something else here. Okay, perfect. It just for some reason wasn't taken in. So now that the order's been sent, the picking has been done successfully. Okay, we'll concentrate on the next step. Okay. And here it's the cycle counts. Okay, so like I mentioned to you earlier, if the way you do a cycle count, here, if this is when you start the cycle count, if you have more than one warehouse in place, it's going to ask you which one do you want to ask. Do you want to have cycle count? We'll just choose the main one. So the efficient way is that you're going to go to each bin, okay, and you're going to start from the picking bin, do a cycle count. If there's any adjustments that you need to do, it's only going to be from the picking bin. So no need to count anything from the overstock that's already been done at the time of check-in. Okay. Transfer, it's also very similar. You're going to transfer product from, let's say you run out of product from the pick and bin. You're going to get product from the overstock, let's say the second level. So let's choose, in this case, just Baron's green seasoning. Okay. And we're going to initiate the process of transferring from the second bin. Okay. In this case, we'll just do here, which is to this pick and bin. System's a little slow, so I apologize for that. Okay, and now we're gonna transfer it to wherever or what location that we want. Simple as that. So the whole idea is that there's always gonna be a record of each step that is done within the warehouse. Every transfer, every picking, every receiving, everything is within the system. Perfect. And we'll do the transfer to this location. The location is you're moving from A-07 to B-06. Here's the number of quantity, the expiration dates, the lot number, everything is included. So we do the transfer. So as you see, the system is very straightforward. It's very friendly as well. And most importantly, it's going to automate the way that you're going to work. Now I'm just going to show you a couple more things that I think the system can offer as well. It's, for example, I mean, in this case, the people in the warehouse can see whenever they have a question, a doubt about an order or so, they can see an image of the product. And believe me, it might not sound very attractive, but sometimes it's very helpful. So in this case, let's say we'll go to canned food goods. Okay, and when we go into the product, why is the system it's a little slow, so I apologize for that. So let's go here. So you get some information, you get the UPC number, you get the amount of units available, and you get, in this case, you get average weight. But the most important is that you can make the image a little bigger, so that can eliminate any confusions of what is being picked or what is being received. And then I have two more things that are just for you guys to know. You're able to load the vehicles. So once that the order is being picked, you're able to load the vehicles with the application. And the same thing when the vehicles come back from their routes, they're able to you're able to move that merchandise that was either returned or either not delivered. You bring it back into the system. So when you bring a route return, you have two options. Either you can bring it back into the inventory, right, in inventory values, or you can, let's say that they need to re-deliver it the next day. So those goods, you would get them off the vehicle, place them in a, let's say, a staging location, and the staging location, everything that's in staging will get re-delivered the next day. But again, you always will have that location of the item and the movement of each transaction. So that per se is the warehouse management system, 100% live. Okay. And other aspects is that the system will let you know when you're running out low in a product. So you will get notifications when you drop from a certain level, a threshold. The system will notify you it's time to get more products, so you don't miss out on any of the sales. Okay. So now that you guys have a better understanding of the warehouse management system, I would like to speak about our pre-sale module. So let me get that. Okay. Now these are for companies that have sales rep out on the field, and they need to capture orders and send them to the office. So this is extremely time-saving application. So when you open it up, and you can use either the iOS platform or you can use the Android platform. So as soon as you open the application up, you're gonna see the list of customers, okay? So in this case, we'll go to Grocery Los Hermanos, okay? And as soon as you, let's say your sales rep arrives at Grocery Los Hermanos, they're gonna have some history of what that customer has bought in the past, as well as the detailed information. So they can go into each individual invoice. So let's go to invoice 08. Okay, when we go to invoice 08, we're gonna see the amount of product and the price, also very important, the price that this customer, the nature of the transaction itself. Okay, that's just to give your sales rep a better understanding. Let's say you get a new sales rep, every time they go to visit, they have a good idea what this customer regularly buys. So once that they're there, they're going to go into menu. Let me see here. They're going to go to menu, and they're going to create a sales order. This is it's a very efficient way to create a sales order. So as soon as I initiate the process of creating a sales order, it's going to ask me what is the shipping date. Okay, so for today's purposes, being a demo, I'm going to choose today. Okay, and now I'm going to go under cats, which is my categories. Mind you that all this information is being brought over from your ERP or your accounting system. Okay, so in this case, let's say I want to sell to this customer beverage coffee. So as soon as I open that category, I'm going to start adding product. Now, if you look at the screen, I have for Café Bustelo, the first one, that there's 1,065 units. Now, these are the inventory values that I have in the warehouse that I'm selling, I guess, right? Okay, so you have a price. So now I can start adding items. So let's say that I want to sell 200 of these. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to choose, let's choose this folder here, that there's 716 available in the warehouse. I'm going to choose, let's say, just 50. Okay, so let's say those are the two items that I want to sell to this customer. Okay, so now that I have the two items and I have a ship date, you can see I have a subtotal. Okay, and all I have to do is hit the send button. Okay, before I hit confirm, I want to show you something here. Right here, if you look, actually, let me go to the marcas. Let me go to my other environment that so if we go here, okay, all these are previous orders. So I did one yesterday just to double check that it was working. But these, so now when we send that order, we should see it land here. So let me do that. Yes. Okay, so now the order is being sent real time, and the system will give you confirmation that it's been done properly. So when we hit refresh here, when we hit refresh here, okay, you see that order right here. Okay, so now that, and I can open it up just to make sure that that are the same items that were ordered. That was a Café Wholesale and the Folgers for 250. Okay, so now I'm able to do print the pig ticket for that. Okay, so this is what I print out, the pig ticket, and then I give it to the people in the warehouse for them to prepare this order. So that's basically the pre-sale module. Okay. Okay, and I have one more module that I would like to share with you guys. This is the DSD module, what we call direct store delivery. Okay, so the nature with the DSD is that the salesperson or anybody in the office is going to request for merchandise to be transferred from the warehouse to the vehicles. So you're going to track the inventory on the vehicles. Okay, that way everything's accounted for. And then those vehicles are going to go out on the field, and they're going to start generating invoices with the customers. So let me show you how that quickly works. Okay. And let me go here. Okay. So we're back at the same screen. Okay. The list of customers. So now what we're going to conduct is, let's say I'm going to be a driver. So as a driver, I need the product in order to go out and sell. So in this case, I'm going to go into menu, and I'm going to go into inventory management. So this is step number one. I need to request the merchandise in order as a first step in order to go out and sell. So that is called create load order. Okay. Very similar process. I go to CATs, which is my categories, and I start adding product that I want to sell for that day. Okay, so in this case, the Comet, okay, the Comet Pro, let's say I want 50 of those. Okay, we're just going to keep it simple. That's the only item that I'm going to request. Okay, I set a date. Okay, so this is a date that I'm going to be, as a driver, be able to take responsibility. Okay. And it can only be that date. Obviously, it could be today or any day in the future, but that's the only date that I choose that is going to show up on the handheld. If I put, let's say, for example, if I put tomorrow's date, the 10th, I will not be able to see it today. So as this is a demo, we're going to choose the 9th. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to send the order. Yes, this will send your loader back to the office, correct, which is what we want. Okay, we'll go back here. Perfect. Now, if we go back to the office right here, and by the way, I'm user number 7. Okay, right here, there's the load request. And if you see it, it's in green. And this will change to a different color. Green meaning that the request has been made, but it has not been accepted by the driver. So the inventory is still within the warehouse. It has not been accepted. Therefore, it's not part of the vehicle's inventory. Okay. So the request has been made. Now, when I go back into the handheld, Okay, I'm going to accept that load request. I'm going to put the date that I want to use, and there it is, the 50 items that we requested. So now as a driver, I'm going to count them, make sure that the 50 are there because I'm responsible for them. Okay. And if they're 50, I'm going to say fine, done. And I'm going to accept that. So now into this point, the inventory now is transferred into the vehicle. So now this is just optional. If I want to print the accepted load, it's not a requirement. Okay. So now I take responsibility. I'm able to go out on the field and generate an invoice in front of the customer. So let's do that. Let's go to a different customer. Let's go to Los Conchitos Supermarket. Okay, so as soon as I arrive there with the customer, I also have an history information, invoices that were done priorly. And by the way, if there's an invoice outstanding that is past due, it will show up as in red instead of black. Okay, so as a driver, as soon as I get there, the first thing I want to do is I want to create an invoice. Okay, so create invoice, and the system automatically is going to ask me, would you like to clock in? And this is we've done this because it's important for management to know at what time the drivers are visiting the customers, are getting there, the time that they spend with the customer, and the time that they leave. Okay, so this is just for management. We like to clock in, yes. Okay, so now after I clocked in, now I can start making that sales invoice. I also am able to do a credit invoice as well. Okay, in this case, we're just going to go with sales invoice. Okay, and now we're going to sell against the product that that we have on the vehicle. Okay, and let me see. So I believe it's the Comet. This one's it. Okay, so let's say that we just want to sell 15. Okay, so add items. Okay, so now that I have let's say in this case, the only product there were 20 before, now I only have 5 available because I chose 15. Okay, so I'm going to hit done. And I'm able to print, if I wanted to, let's say a pre-invoice, just to make sure that the customer is satisfied with that sales invoice, right? If that is okay, then I will finalize, and I go to collect the signature. Now we're almost about to the point of printing that invoice. So I collect the signature. Let's say it was Tony, the person there responsible in that location and that as a customer, and Tony gave us his signature. So that signature, by the way, you will be able to see it on the reporting side. So we have a section on the reporting side for management, and management will have all this information digitally. Okay, so then after we have acknowledgement of the person receiving the goods, we go to collect payment. I mean, here we have 2 options. Normally, I have a lot of customers that sell on credit. If it's a credit, you just bypass the collect payment button and you go to print invoice. But in this case, I want to receive a payment, so I go to collect payment. And for this demo environment, I only have 2 options. I have only cash and check, but I can have as many options as I want, COD and so forth. So let's say, they're paying us with cash. Okay, they're able to also pay a partial amount. Okay, and this, I mean, just for time purposes, I'm just going to use the whole amount, and I also can place a comment. Okay, if I wanted to. So perfect. So they're paying the whole amount, and I'm just going to save. And now, lastly, I'm going to print the invoice. I'm going to go to print batch, and normally there are 2 copies being printed out, one for the customer and one for myself as a driver. So I print that out, and then I hit done. And if you see, now I have an invoice number, which is invoice number 721 for the amount of 119.25. Term COD, cash, okay. And it's finalized, okay. So the last thing the driver has to do is to clock out. Okay. So the moment I clock out, it takes me back to the home screen. In order for me as a driver, make my next visit and generate the second invoice. Once that, okay, now that's the process of DSD. Now, this is something very important, is getting the information that we just did back to the office. So there are two options. If your driver has full-time internet connectivity, okay, that information is sent real time. As soon as that invoice is done, it's sent back to the office. Now, I have a lot of customers that cannot afford, all their drivers to have internet, an internet data program. So in that case, what they do is that at the end of the day, once that they've completed all their visits, okay, then at the end of the day, let's say it's 6 o'clock, they connect to a Wi-Fi and they send all that information to the office. And I'll just quickly show you how that is done. Go to menu, and we're gonna do end of day close. Okay. Okay. The first option is load order, which is that's optional. It's just requesting merchandise like we did initially. Okay. Then route returns. Okay, route returns, you would see here if if any of your drivers, in this case, if I myself as a driver had accepted any returns or credits, however you want to call them. And you see on underneath the three blue buttons, the returns, we have them as two different options. Dumps, meaning a defective product. Returns, which is a good product in good condition that will go back into inventory. The dumps will not. The dumps units will go to the trash and will not go back into inventory. Okay. So let's say we'll save that. Perfect. So now we go to end inventory. So enter password. This is just, okay, see something here. Okay, and it gives us our inventory on the vehicle. In this case, being a demo is not accurate, but now you would see right here the true values of your inventory on the vehicle. Okay, yes. Enter the password again. And the last part is the print report. So every day at the end of the routes, okay, your drivers are going to print 3 reports. First one being the sales report. Okay. Second one being the payment received report. And lastly is the settlement report, which is also your inventory. So those are very handy reports that we usually recommend those to be printed out. Okay. And at the end, okay, let me print the reports. Okay, let me see. The system, now we're ready to transmit all the activity, all those invoices that we created, let's say during the day, we're ready to transmit that information to the office. So we hit yes, and the system will give you confirmation again that the process has been done successfully. Okay, and there it is. So now that that's been done, you should see that invoice that we just made. You should see it back in the office. So we're going to go to export orders. Okay, and right here, today is the 9th. And there's our invoice paid with cash, okay, for 15 units. Okay, so now since this is integrated to our ERP or accounting system, I'm able to export that invoice. So, and it's very simple. I can also select multiple invoice. In this case, let's say I just wanted one. Okay, I hit export documents, and that invoice gets exported into your ERP or accounting system. So as you see, this is something that it takes a lot of the manual process, as well as doing things by pen and paper. You eliminate a lot of the errors that come by using things manually. So this will save you a ton of time and improve your efficiency when it comes to selling out on the field. And that concludes my presentation when it comes to the 3 software modules. Repeat: the warehouse module, the pre-sale module, and the DSD module. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for their time and move on to Vishal.
All right. Thanks very much, Rafael. Let me. Oh, I think I just need some permissions to share.
Okay.
So once you stop sharing, Rafael, I'll be able to share.
Let me see. Stop share. There it is.
Perfect. All right. All right. Everyone see my screen? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thanks again, Rafael. That was a very simple, easy user interface, and the system works very, next step, basically click and go. So it works very well. One of the things that Rafael mentioned coming out of the system is a lot of data, and businesses actually use that data to grow and to push past on their previous performances and to gain profit. And the ability to analyze the vast amounts of data coming out of all of your systems is very, very critical and important. One of the important tools that we would focus on is Power BI. Power BI being one of the best platforms on the market for business intelligence, period. Like, that's it. There's varying organizations and verticals out there that use and recommend Power BI, for example, SAP, Oracle, and of course, Microsoft, because it's Microsoft Power BI. Three major points or how Power BI functions. It brings all the data which is important to you as a business owner or a business manager or someone who needs that data in a business into one place. What it does assist you in answering critical business questions by providing you with summaries of your data. So, for example, this is one of our sales report page coming out of Power BI. So you notice that you have all of your sales, your margins, period on period growth percentage. And then what it does, it makes business collaboration simple. It makes it simple by giving everyone the ability to have these dashboards available to them. And in turn, having the information right there. So in case anybody needs the information, anybody needs to answer the questions, as we mentioned before, everybody and anybody who has access to it would be able to answer those questions. So as you can see, while I'm going through all of these pages, the Power BI pages and reports, you'll notice that we have the store growth, the performance per hour, the category analysis and growth. So it gives you details and it gives you nice, this dashboard gives you nice charts and bar graphs and numbers that would actually help in your decision making. Let me introduce Noe Wellman, who is actually going to show you and give some examples of how Power BI and AI, specifically Cortana, would work within an ERP system, specifically Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. So Noe, let me hand over to you so that you can show how this works in real time.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to start sharing now then.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay. All right, I'm here. I'm showing the Business Central client, which I'm opening in a browser. So this could be as well used in a tablet or a mobile device. So first of all, in Business Central, well, we have my activities as an accountant as an example for today. The idea is that I have some advices and some KPIs directly calculated from Business Central. And as well, Cortana is helping me at this point to understand what is going on in my company. Behind the scene, I haven't done anything that I'm going to show. Cortana did it for me, such as the cash available for my company, the profitability that I have, just as an instance, and other insights that Cortana has reviewed, like 70 of my customers are late with my payments. So that is what Cortana, first of all, as an introduction, that's what it does, basically, algorithms, artificial intelligence for my company once I connect the service, and it's going to start reading my company. So by checking the payments that are due, also Cortana review which invoices are, and actually they are colored in red for me. So I could just export this report and start verifying the amounts, and well, it's going to help me for my collections in my company and my AR processes, of course. Other features, of course, Vishal spoke about the Power BI. I'm going to show you those reports. We have those reports that we generate in Power BI embedded. Also, Cortana has helped me to review that the cash flow in my company. Well, in this company, in the Kronos USA company I'm showing, I actually created a standard process that we have in every company, the replenishing process for June in this case. What happened here with the cash flow is that I have for different modules, receivable, payables, purchase, sales orders. Well, all my ERP cash flow activities are depicted in colors. So you can see the chart here changing according to what I want to just review. But by itself, the idea is that in green, I have in June a negative process because I replenish my company. And through the process and how the company will be developing and the performance, the financial performance is depicted here. Cortana is reviewing that my sales operations are increasing, but the cash flow actually is just going to start increasing month by month from the replenishing month that I had. And I can see here in September that my gray line that I have here actually is now above the actual sales operation. So it's giving me now more income. So this is actually just dynamic. Every time I purchase, sale, pay taxes, receive payments or cash, create payments or cash deposits from my customers, the cash flow is moving all the time. So Cortana is depicting for me, and not only forecasting, but depicting for me how the actual cash flow is. And for now, it's positive in this example for me. It's increasing the cash flow for this last period since the replenishing process that I had. And that's very interesting to use, actually. It's my assistant in the as an accountant, or for me to review the financial controller. Well, at the end, this is what we do here with Business Central. Then another interesting feature that I have is Cortana is also reviewing my inventory. I have an item that I have created just for the demo, the conference bundle. This is just for furniture. Well, showing that I have, well, my inventory is currently negative. Also comparing my sales operation, historical information. And well, from here, or actually this information is going to be available for the purchaser for every item once Cortana is connected, and it's going to start reviewing my historical information. But the important thing with this assistant is that it's telling me that, well, for every week, every month, however you want to use Cortana, is going to give me insights for my inventory and the sales forecast. So whenever I need something, so an assistant to help me, should I buy this or not? Maybe you have to decide right away with your vendor, so you can use Cortana. And I'm going to create a purchase order from the Cortana assistant, and it's going to help me to create the document. This is a purchase order document, and I have here for my vendor Fabricam, which is the actual vendor from where I purchased this specific conference bundle. And Cortana created for me the actual purchase order. It's currently I need 78 pieces. Once again, I'm not even running currently the replenishing process or module that we actually have. Cortana is doing all of this for me at this point. So is an assistant reading the information in my company and helping me with finance insights, cash flow, and inventory activities. So as well, we have our Power BI reports. The Power BI reports could be just created using the same subscription that we have in Business Central. The same users could have access to the Power BI. Look at how I have embedded my Power BI icon in my 365 toolbox that I have, where I have my Business Central environment. And well, here I have my Power BI reports embedded. I could select from here any report that I have created in my account. And that's, let's say, 100% integrated. So the people who is actually reading their reports can start checking and embed the reports and see them in their own screen. Otherwise, in order to actually do it in a more detailed way, I could just from Business Central open my Power BI a subscription, a website, and well, from here I just would verify all my dashboards. Here we work with applications, so we share designs, and we can actually download designs from other people that we call just apps. And we have plenty of different apps for Business Central. Let me just open any of them. And the idea is that, some of the reports that you could embed in any part of your ERP are already pre-designed. So you can just open your subscription to Power BI and start using them immediately. If you like any of them, for instance, I have the items plus dashboards. So it's reading real-time information. So I get the data, and it's going to then is going to help me visualize information with this type of charts and dashboards that I'm presenting. So I could use all of this and design my own dashboards any way I want them, or just attach these charts in my pages in Business Central, so I would be able to read the information in the ERP. Last, I wanted to show the PayPal integration. The PayPal process, of course, just requires in order to receive payments, this is a modern way now, not only to receive cash or credit debit payments, credit debit card payments, excuse me. So with the PayPal account, if you want to use them, now we can, and we integrate this in Business Central, because this is a modern way now where we just generate payments. And let's say as well that we have all our posted invoices. Let me show you just one example. Behind the scene, I have created different sales operations, and then I want to print now one of my invoices that I would deliver to my customer to show the shipments, fees, notes, and assembly components were required, etc., the notes for a shipment or an invoice, and then I could send it to an email, let's say. So this is all of this that I'm going to show is completely out of the box in Business Central. I'm just sending an email that my customer is going to receive, and my invoice at this point is going to actually include in my in my invoice layout. I have included in blue this information for the sales operation that I have. And the good thing is that it's going to include now access to the PayPal account. So if anybody wants to, any of my customer wants to actually pay me using this account, this is going to update now the information in Business Central. So I just need to have access to my account just to verify. Well, I just have some euros there just for my sample, right? But the idea is that once I receive the payments by sending the actual link in PayPal in any document, purchases, sales, invoices, I'm going to be able to update directly Business Central once I actually use this. And well, this will be the process that I wanted to show today. If you have questions, please let me know.